many people, I would say millions and millions, tried to find out about Joy, especially during the documentary while it was being filmed, after it's been shown. And few people really knew Joy, like I did, and like Chuck did. Joy was raised a very Catholic, and as a matter of fact, this was her missal. She would go to church 3 times a week, trying to find herself because of her alcoholic parents, lazy, I could go on and on, I won't go there. But anyway, and she was cross-eyed, she was not beautiful. At one time she was very thin, and then she gained weight at 16, and we were dancing together. I met her when she was 7, and I was 11. And my dancing teacher said to me, she went, "Oh, I have a beautiful little girl for you to do adagio with." And I'm partnering. And I had these illusions of blonde curls and beautiful blonde little goddess walking in. The first time I saw Joy, she walked in from having an acrobatic lesson in a leotard that was her sister's, that the crotch went down to the knees, and her hair was kinky, and it was not in style then, and her thick glasses tied around her head, and her eyes crossed like that. And I went, oh my, what am I getting into? And the more we worked together, we grew together, the more we bonded together, and we became so close. And by the way, before someone thinks it, there was no sex till she was 18. So anyway, we, like today, everybody has sex at 12. We didn't. So now, Joy became more like me, more like my side of the family, and she'd say, "Ron, I want to look glamorous. Is it possible?" Blah, 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 blah. So anyway, my mother knew this eye doctor in Portland, Maine, and she thought it had never been done, but there was talk about it being done, and that it was successful. And in those days, straightening eyes was not a thing at all. And she told her mother. And the first thing her mother said was, "Oh, they're going to experiment on my daughter," and it was an experiment. So anyway, finally they called, and Joy had it done. And talk about a miracle. Here's someone that's completely cross-eyed. It disfigures you when you're cross-eyed. You could be the most beautiful man, the most beautiful woman, and it disfigures you. And I'll never forget, I couldn't be in the room with her because it was only, family. I was waiting in the hallway, and I heard this scream, and her mother started, "Oh my God, thank you God," the whole thing. As they took the bandages off, and she opened her eyes were completely straight. And it was not guaranteed. They said it was not guaranteed. And nowadays they do it, bing bang. So anyway, that was the beginning. And then she started to lose that, she was 16 at the time, lose that weight, and more dancing, and we got closer and closer. Anyway, the thing happened that I graduated from high school, went to New York. I danced in 3 Broadway shows, Summer Stock, and she would write to me. In those days, no cell phones were not there, computers were not, they didn't exist. So anyway, she would write me a letter. Every other day I'd get a letter from her. One day, she writes me a letter and says, "Ron, I don't know what to do. I gave my $25 deposit on a habit. I think I want to become a nun, but I want to be a dancer. What am I to do?" I was so pissed off. I wrote back to her and said, "This is one decision, Doris," which was her name. Her mother would call her Doris all the time. "This is one decision, Doris, that you're going to make yourself." So, excuse me, she went to see Mother Superior. And here's an old 80-year-old witch, I thought. And she said to her, and I quote Joy word for word, she said, "I don't know what to do, Mother Superior. I want to go to New York and be a dancer, and at the same time, I want to be a nun. I don't know what to do." That Mother Superior, word for word, I'll never forget it as long as I live. She said, "Look, go to New York and go and see if that's your calling. And every time you dance, dance for God. Be aware of God 24/7. The presence of God is extremely important. And she said, offer every dance you do to God. Now, if you become a nun, and then you decide a year later to become a dancer, you're out of shape, plus your vows will be done. She said, so I recommend that you go and join Ron. And I could have kissed that old 80-year-old nun right in the mouth. So anyway, Joy decided, and then Joy became Joy Holiday. And at one time, I wanted a nude painting, because Joy said, I'm losing 15 pounds. And when she said something, she did it. And I sort of liked her voluptuous body, the boobs, the hips. It was so perfect. She wanted to look more like a ballerina. So what happened is, before you lose that weight, baby, could you please, I want a painting. She goes, why don't you take a picture? No, I want a painting, so I can have it. Remember, oh God, am I glad I did that. So she said, if you think I'm going to pose in front of some guy painting me nude, I'm not going to do it. And I had it all planned. I knew what she would say. A friend of ours, Marilyn Michaels, who's a big star in Hollywood now, who knows doing what. But anyway, she was becoming famous for her nudes. And she was Joy's age. So she said, I'm going to be at Radio City Music Hall in between shows. That's why Joy has a full stage makeup on. And she's holding her point shoes. These are the point shoes she was holding. And 20 minutes to a half hour in between shows, 4 times a day, she would paint Joy, cover the canvas, and this was the results, which I love. I just love that painting. That's the painting. Going from the missal, it goes to show you, if you follow your heart, there's nothing wrong with a missal. There's nothing wrong with going to church 4 times a day. Or like a friend of mine, Lydia, her religion, what it did, all this stuff, fine, but you have to wake up, swim out of that, and reach for the air and free yourself. That's what you have to do. And I believe organized religion is extremely good for the masses. But to quote my dad, the masses are asses. And they're followers. So if you want to be a follower, if you're happy that way, go ahead. But this is not what happened to this little Doris Gagnon, who became the famous Joy Holiday, and everyone, Hollywood, New York, wanted her.